this weekend we need to stop taking things step by step.
You only have a month left.
So
definitely.
We have wrote a checklist. I don't care about what work you're doing. Like,
You look like a big sausage.
we've now got the door on here. Hi guys, we are Nick and Sam, and this right here is Lord Onyx. We have been living and travelling in self-built camper vans since 2018, and between us we have converted 4 vans. For the past few series we have been vlogging our van life adventures, which has taken us through Spain, Portugal, Scotland, Norway and Germany. But if you know anything about van life, a build is always calling. So this time around, Tara will be resting her wheels whilst we take on the challenge of building van number 5. Welcome back guys, it's so weird doing the intro now because we've only just done the outro, which means efficient. We are being very efficient.
And we're losing places that we can actually film from now, aren't we?
It's really filling up in here. It's making me not want to put the storage and bathroom in just so you can like
keep
use
nice
all
and
of the
airy.
space and do all of this in there.
But anyway guys, this vlog, as we said in the last one, we're going to be doing the doors, drawers, front facing,
so
overhead storage.
Part 2 of the kitchen build basically, and hopefully by the end of this week the kitchen will all be done minus finishing touches because we do that all at the end. So should we crack on?
I reckon so. Let's do it. We're going to start off by doing the overhead storage in the kitchen. It's going to fill the entirety of this wall, which is around 114 centimetres or so. And then we're going to be having a depth of around 20 centimetres, and it's going to build up towards the roof, which will then shape the facing so it follows the curvature. As we all know, van walls are not straight, therefore you can't just build a square frame and put it up, otherwise your cabinets are going to look like this.
Yeah, very slanted.
And we don't want that. Therefore the solution to this is if you put your wood up against the wall and again scribing, you'll be able to find the angle of what your wall sits at, and then it'll end up looking like
You got it the wrong way around. Like that.
I was like, well,
nice
got it wrong then.
Straight. We wanted to find the curve of the van first so we could build the rest of the framework off those battens to make sure it's square. So excited, we now have the framework into the van. It is fitted up. I'll show you how we've done it. We've put some screws along the bottom strut into the wall, and we've also got some going into the ceiling, and then once the side face is on we can screw into the side as well. Which brings me on to the next bit. Now this is up and fitted into the van, we're going to start scribing and fitting the side facings.
We've put ply on either side of the frame. We've taken it down so we can screw it all properly together. Then we're going to put it up back in situation so we can put some blocks in the middle, and potentially, depending on whether Nico wants it, have a shelf in the middle with 2 cupboards. Now we're just planing down the sides so it's nice and flush.
While Sam is working on the overhead storage, I'm going to start staining and varnishing the worktop because we want to get that protected as soon as possible before we ruin it as we continue the build. To prep the worktops, we've sanded them down on the tops, the backs and the sides. We will then be staining them with the Colron wood dye that we used on the ceiling. This time we're going straight in with the cloth because we can't find our paintbrushes, and then we'll be varnishing it to protect it. Look how nice this is! I am so happy with this stain colour. I'm just going to do the one as well, just like the ceiling, so it completely matches.
Busy at work, aren't we? What are you working on today?
His sleep.
His sleep. I think you've had enough of that, haven't you? Look at you.
Let's do a close-up of how cute he is.
And whilst we're here, we may as well stain the tops of the sofa bed.
It looks like our overhead storage is starting to come together. I've put a base on the underside of the overhead storage, and I've put these 2 struts in the middle. There's going to be doors either side of the struts, and then this is going to be a free-flowing space. We're going to put like a plant in here with some books, some light reading for people who rent it out. So the next plan is to do some doors for it. And to get these, I've already got the measurement for the inset, so then I'll knock off about 5mm around the edges so it just opens nicely, and account for the hinges on the top.
So I've finished staining everything inside the van, so next up is the varnish, but I thought I'd show you what it all looks like. This is the kitchen worktop. I'll show you closer. That's it. And then here is the bed. The sofa bed. It's still drying, so that's why it's all different colours. But these two should be dry. So here's a close-up. And how are you getting on, Sammy?
Last cut, hopefully for the doors now, and then they can all go in. Say hello to the camera as well. She's a model, she's used to the camera.
Holly is Sam's dog from when you were 18, right?
Yeah, she's nearly going on 11 this year for a Rottweiler, so...
Yeah, she's the family dog now, obviously, because you moved out many years ago, but yeah, she's your sole dog, isn't she?
She is my baby. Yeah.
And Onyx is mine.
Come give me a kisses. Kisses. Kisses.
Oh my god.
She's a good twerker, isn't she? There we go. I got that boom boom pow, that girl, that chicken master. Yesterday we finished cutting our frames for the overhead storage. We used 9mm ply and we've cut a hole in the middle because we're going to put rattan in the middle. That is because we like our cupboards to breathe. When it's really hot in the summer, the vans get really stuffy and your food starts to go weird if it cannot breathe. So that's what we'll be doing once we sort that. But because we've used 9mm ply, we can't add the hinges on that we wanted to use because it's just not thick enough. So what we have done, as you can see, we've added another 9mm block along the top so that the hinges can be screwed into here. For the hinges on our cupboard doors, we will be using flush hinges. These ones we just grabbed online and they're 51 by 25mm. Let's show him the door.
Hello!
So it does like lift a little bit because the screw heads are sitting in there, so we're going to notch some wood out so the screws can sit inside. Yep. We'll also get a gas strut and a roller catcher, so the gas strut will hold it open and the roller catcher will keep it flush with the framework. But yeah, really happy with this. We're literally using the world's tiniest screws for this.
We now have 2 cupboard faces.
Way!
And they're all working. What do you think?
Well, of course I love it. So we're on coat number 3 and I think this is where I'm going to leave it.
Oh wow, it's shiny.
Yeah, well it's wet. But I think 3 will be enough so it doesn't just look like a sheet of plastic. Mm-hmm. But I'm really happy with how the wood has come out, considering we've just used plywood.
Really beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, as a worktop. So we've paid, what, 40 quid for a worktop when normally they're like hundreds of pounds. So I'm hoping it lasts as well. So we'll see, we'll find out.
Time will tell, eh?
Yeah, and then we'll let you know. We've made an official decision of what's happening here in the kitchen as well. We're going to have 4 drawers. I think I may have said this before, but earlier when we built this, we didn't know what it was going to be. So we do actually have to reshuffle some bits in here. We put this divider in, but that will need to sit now on the left-hand side. And we put these 2 blocks in on the back to put the divider in, but that's going to have to change. That's going to have to become a solid leg, so then we can run struts in between for the runners to be screwed into. So we're going to make those modifications now. Done to the kitchen frame, I believe it's the last thing we need to do anyway, is add these modesty blocks in. So they're similar to the metal angles apart from they're all plastic, and we've added it into the corner here because we haven't got a leg to support it. So by having these underneath, it's going to hold it up to the height that we want the worktop to sit at. We're now working on the overhead storage for the kitchen again. Today it's just one of those days where you're just back and forth on different tasks. Yeah, what do you think, Onyx?
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
we've kind of just been doing a bit of odd cuts here and there around the van, so I'm going to give you a quick show of what we've been doing lately. We've now added a divider into this trunk here, as a lot of the electrics are going to be housed in there, so we need it to be screwed to something secure. And if I can find it, we've got our overhead storage over here, which has also now got dividers in it. That's all ready to go, so we just need to paint it, add the rattan to the little cutouts in the middle.
We're going to paint this evening rather than in the day, because when we're cutting things and stuff, sawdust gets everywhere. Next up is we don't have wood for the cupboard doors and drawers, so we're going to go B&Q and buy a new sheet of ply, but they do this 8 cuts for free, so it'll be really, really accurate, and then obviously saves us time. So hopefully we'll go there and back an hour and a half and we'll have all of our doors done, whereas if we did it ourselves, it would probably be an all-day job working in the garage with our chop saw. So that's the plan today, and then we build the boxes, I guess, ourselves. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that was a nightmare to try figure out, because usually I do it like one step at a time, but I'm having to do 10 whole steps in one go, which is just too much for my brain. So this is what I've done, in case you guys decide to do it. I've drawn out the kitchen, I've put all the measurements on, I've then knocked off 4mm to all of the measurements. Industry standard is 5mm for cabinet fronts on the height and 4mm on the width, but I'm just doing 4mm all around. Happy with that, it's up to you. And then I've laid it out onto a ply sheet and I've numbered the cuts, so I believe it's 8 cuts, so I've labelled it, which does mean we are going to have to do some of the cuts ourselves, but at least we're going to be working with a smaller sheeted material, which is so much easier than the sizes we've been working with in the garage. So yeah, B&Q. Oh my god, that machine made me wanna... It was so good. I wish I'd gone so much sooner with even all my other builds. I've never used that service. I've chopped everything myself at home with a circular saw, but that is game changing. We now have all the cupboard doors and drawer fronts cut in a matter of 2 hours of driving there, getting the stuff, coming back. Probably less, 1.5 hours. So highly recommend going to B&Q to do that. And also prices, I got wrong earlier. It's £35. I picked 12mm ply, by the way. I actually wanted 9, but they didn't have any in stock that weren't warped, and I wanted to sort it today, so I went 12mm, and it was £35 and 5 free cuts, and then every cut after that is 50p, so I got 11 cuts in total, which is what we needed. So yeah, here they all are. I do have to say, the plywood at B&Q isn't as good as Wickes, and I don't know the different like levels of ply necessarily, but the way I can tell is because first of all, we got plywood from TFM before, and that's like really strandy plywood, so that's okay to paint on. And then the one at Wickes, it's got like a nice grain in the wood, like this one. So this is from Wickes. I don't know if you can see the grain, but it's what we used on the worktop for the kitchen. Whereas B&Q's like in between, so you can see the grain, but you can also here see the strands. So when it's been chopped, it's like torn down at the strands. So again, I'd only use this really to paint on. I wouldn't really stain on this one. I just thought I'd share that with you so you can look out for what different plies are out there and what's suitable for the project you're doing. The first door we're going to work on is door A. That's what I've labelled it, and it's the one that goes on the side of the kitchen that faces the sliding door, so you can only access it if the door is open. For the hinge placement, we're going 5 inches down and 5 inches up. So a quick one today, started to rain. Moving on to this door where we're going to be using these flush fit hinges. Look on it. I don't care about what work you're doing. Let's zoom into this cute thing over there. Hello, cutie.
Hello.
You look like a big sausage.
We've now got the door on here. Really happy with it, and again a roller catcher so it doesn't go past the framework. But in hindsight, we didn't really need to have a door on this one too, because I didn't realise that the hinge would allow it to go all the way out there. I don't know what we lost. So actually the water tanks would have been easy to just get out from here, but it is a great extra feature to have just for ease. I do realise that last week I said, oh, we'll get the kitchen done in 2 days, I think it was. Well, that hasn't happened again. I'm not gonna lie, I find this part of the build really enjoyable, but probably more challenging in terms of the maths and stuff. So we're currently working on the drawers, and I have to try and decide what size the drawer boxes are gonna be. So I just struggle with those things. So I take it all really slow and one step at a time to try and ensure I don't make any mistakes. Don't hold me to that. And the plan with the drawers here, I'm thinking of getting all the measurements again and just going back to B&Q and getting them to chop it all, because it just made it so much more efficient today. And then I also need to think about the fridge area, because that corner has challenged me since day one. It doesn't feel like a good use of space, which I'm completely aware of, but what can you do when you have to have a gas locker in here and the heater in a certain space? So yeah, hopefully as we keep building, I will figure out what that will properly look like and it will turn out well.
Doing a van build is not only physically draining, but also mentally. I haven't done so much maths in school. Look at all this homework we've been doing.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the drawer cuts, and we're visual people, aren't we? So we have to draw everything out.
We're getting there, slowly, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I think Onyx can agree that it's physically and mentally draining too.
All the maths has put this boy to sleep.
I just went to B&Q and turns out they don't have any 9mm ply in stock, which means we're going to have a nice relaxing day today, and that's what I needed. So I'll show you the handles we've ordered. We've got a box of 5, I think they're about 12 centimetres, and then a box of 10 of about 6 to 7 centimetre handles. This is it. I thought these were cute because then you can hang your tea towel off the side of them. We also ordered some gas struts for the cupboard doors. We've gone for 40N gas struts because of the size of our doors. They're just so small. You don't need like so much power in them. So this is them. We also got the Rattan off Amazon. Here it is. It is the radio weave, so all straight lines rather than like circulars. And it was about £40 for 50 by 100 centimetres. This stuff is expensive now. It never used to be like that, but everything has gone up in price. Everything on the van build that I've clicked into, that I've bought before, has gone up at least like £5 to £10. I'm going to position my handle around the top of the cabinet so you don't have to bend down to open the door. So what we're going to do to pop this in is I'm going to put a dot where I want this bit to sit, and then the gap between here is 128mm, so I can put a little hole here and here. And it comes with some little, I think they're like bolt screws. I don't know any technical words, I just know what I need. And then it will clamp down onto the cupboard door. So I want this about here, and I want it an inch in. And here we have one handle. So I'm just going to go around now adding these onto all the cupboard doors and drawer fronts. So that is all of the handles in. Woo! For the gas struts in the cupboard, we followed the instructions that came in the packaging and tweaked them a little bit. We positioned the mechanism that sits on the storage wall 1 centimetre in, as per the instructions. But to find where the gas strut sits on the door itself, what we did is close the door and then pencil mark where the mechanism sits. We're now building some weapons. This is them. They're not actually. What these are offcuts, and we've put screws through them, so when we start painting all the cupboard doors, we can paint the back first, then lie them on 4 of these at each corner, so we can then paint the front. You know, the end of the screw is just so tiny, it doesn't really cause too much damage to the paintwork, and that's why we do it on the back first. Anyway, that's what I've done with all of my van builds, and I've been happy with the paintwork, so thought I'd share this little trick with you. And Sam here is going over all of the walls that need varnishing again. Now it's time for painting! Yay!
Yay!
We've been prepping for this for like months, haven't we?
Finally,
I think even in the first episode I was like, and then we'll be painting, and then we'll be painting. And this is the paint we've gone for the kitchen. Yeah, it's the red one that you guys chose. It's not like that red, it's more of like a terracotta-y red, a rustic red. Today we've got all the cutouts done for the drawer boxes at B&Q. So it's going to be a busy one. We're going to be putting it all together and painting all the drawer fronts and cupboard doors. But before we start that, I thought I'd show you the paint on the kitchen and how it's dried. I'm absolutely loving it. This is it. Definitely not salmon pink anymore. I don't know if you remember, but a few months back we put up a community vote on whether we should go red or orange on the kitchen. So thanks guys for helping us pick the red. I absolutely love it. For our drawer boxes we've gone for 9mm ply, and the way we're going to piece it all together is by using wood glue, a nail gun and modesty blocks. What we've done is cut out a base, we've then got the two sides and then the back that slots into the middle of the sides. And then the front face will go on to make it look pretty. And I thought I'd share a little tip with you if you're not aware of this yet. I've only come across it today thanks to the guy from B&Q. So you know how I was getting a headache trying to sort out all of the cut pieces onto a sheet of ply? Well, there is an app called Cut List Optimizer and you can literally just put in all the measurements that you want, the size of the sheet material you're using, and it will just optimize all of the cuts for you. So don't waste your time doing this, just go download the app and use that.
They needed a bit of sun because they were taking too long to dry.
We're now just waiting for our last drawer fronts to dry. We've got a bundle outside that have been sitting in the sun and they're all ready to go in. I still have to go get runners though for the drawers. I always forget something and today it was runners. We've got these to work on. Sorry, the strap just got in the way. So the overhead storage and the drawer that goes under the bed, and the bed we want to paint, and I just need to decide now if we're going to go like off-white or like a nudie colour that I got. So big decisions. I hate working outside. Literally just as I was talking to you it just starts raining and now all of my paintwork has just got like raindrops on it, so I know I need to dab that up. I've literally just done them all.
We've come to a realisation where we only have a month left to get the van into a point of where we want it to be.
And we still have a long way to go-ish, don't we? So this weekend we need to stop taking things step by step and we need to start ramping things up. So
Definitely.
We have wrote a checklist for the kitchen and bedroom, and this is everything we want to get done this weekend. We cannot go slow anymore. It has to happen, otherwise
absolutely.
we are not going to get there.
I'm excited, but I mean, this part of the build for me is literally the worst part. So
This is my favourite
to start ramping
bit.
up is hard.
Yeah, so should we crack on?
Absolutely.
Let's do this. I'm going to be working on all of the paintwork, varnishing and finishing off that overhead storage.
Whilst I work on modifying the bed and the kitchen framework and installing all the drawers. We are not going to show you how to install runners because this is like a dark art.
We had no idea what we were doing.
Absolutely no clue. Still a little bit confused of how they're actually in nice at the level that they're at. So to be honest, go watch somebody else. They'll probably be able to clue you up on it better than we will.
So So I did make a bit of a hiccup with these drawers. I knocked off 1 centimetre each side to account for the runners, but it turns out I'd actually only knocked off about 7mm by the time they were built. So the drawers wouldn't fit into situ with the runners. So if you're like us and you make this mistake, what we did to fix it, we used a router to notch 3mm out of the drawer sides, so then it would fit in. Like Sam said, we're certainly not professionals, and we did make sure that this whole cupboard was built really square so that the drawers would slot in easily, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Definitely the most challenging bit of the carpentry for us so far. Next on our to-do list is this section here. So this will house our fridge. We'll have a compartment on top. We're not too sure what that's going to look like yet. We'll figure that out in a second. And then along here, there'll be a little cupboard door so you can get into the gas and the heater if you need to. It's now finally time to start working on this area of the kitchen. We didn't know exactly what we were doing here before, but now we do, so it's time to get cracking. First we're going to add in all of the extra struts that we need so that we're able to fit the compartment, the cupboard and the fridge front face in. We're going to set everything 12mm back so it can account for the 12mm ply that will be the cupboard doors and the fridge face. As you may have noticed, we don't have a fridge yet. I only ordered that this weekend, so the goal is to get through the entire checklist, and then when it comes in the week we can pop it in and then get all the final clips and stuff as the kitchen as a whole then. So, fridge, which one have I gone for? I've gone for the Alpicool Adventurer 50, purely because it is the cheapest black fridge that I can find, but I'll tell you more about that once it's delivered.
It's Monday, by the way.
We're now working on the shelf for the compartment in the kitchen, and as you can see, we didn't have enough wood, so this is what we've done to extend the piece of wood that we do have. We've cut out, what, like 6 centimetres, and then on the back, we've got this to hold it together. Once it's in and the fridge is underneath, you're not going to see it, so no one's ever going to know. Meanwhile, we have a killer dog.
We have a little bit of a dilemma with this new little hatch that we've installed here.
Just as we
anybody
thought
guess what it is? We're going to need to move these across, fill in, sand it, paint it. Weather!
We've now shifted this hinge over. We're leaving this one as is, so that there's not too many holes. And I know it looks unsymmetrical, but it is what it is with a van build. So now it doesn't hit. The next thing we're going to do is secure this panel in place. And the way it's going to work is literally just like this. It's going to slot in like that, and it's going to pull out like that as a whole door. And we're using plinth clips to do this. So this is a plinth clip or panel clip. I'm not sure what they're actually called. But they like lock into each other like this. So one end will be screwed to the cupboard front, and then that will be screwed to the wall, and then you can just tug. So we've actually already added the ones inside the cupboard. We have had to add extra blocks in because they're so big. You could probably use roller catchers and things similar to that, but these are just much more durable. The panels now in, we actually had to reduce the panel clips from 4 to 2 because they were so sturdy it was hard to get it out without knocking it from the back, which you won't be able to do when the fridge is in. So this is it now. We're using this clip and that clip. This one needs to come out. So the reason why we're doing it like this as well is because we can't have hinges here because otherwise the drawers won't open. And also this little area is the gas and the heater, so it's unlikely that people are going to be going in there. There's so much storage that you just won't need to use that. So I imagine you'd only actually go in this cupboard if you need to get to the gas to turn it on and off. This is the Alpicool 50 litre fridge from Jackson Leisure. So like I told you before, we got the measurements online to build the front face, so now we just have to hope it actually fits.
Light then.
Yeah, I mean it's light enough for me to lift it. Oh my god! I think that's the first thing we've got right.
Wow.
There we go.
That is actually really cool, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother running over the specs with you. As always, we're going to put the link to the products we buy in the description so you can read all about it there. But basically I picked it because it was the cheapest one, and in terms of efficiency it's pretty average. So yeah, should we show them, do a little tour of where we've got to so far and then end this vlog?
Yes.
Let's go.